Welcome back to the studio here at Woking Golf Club. I've taken over from Carl today as I'm going to be reviewing the brand new TaylorMade Stealth 2. It's a brand new product just been released. The reason I've taken over is I'm a TaylorMade player, so I've played with TaylorMade all the way throughout this year. Stealth driver I've had in my bag. I've enjoyed it a lot, especially with the ball speed element, but I have struggled with forgiveness, which I think has been a common theme throughout the Stealth product so far. TaylorMade seem to have addressed that this year in terms of their new slogan of forgiveness. So they're trying to give you the most distance with keeping the forgiveness element. I'm going to talk you quickly through the three heads. I'm going to hit some shots so we can have a comparison. I'll give you my honest feedback about what I think's changed. If there's anything better, hopefully there is with the new product. So the TaylorMade Stealth 2 Plus head, you can see that weight track at the front. It's the lower spinning head. We can kind of optimize it a bit more for your trajectory and things. Generally aim towards the more centered strikers of the golf ball because it is a little bit more unforgiving in that area. But we'll see a few people fit into that. The more popular head though will be the Stealth 2. So the standard head, nice and forgiving, hopefully giving you lots of ball speed. We'll have a look through each of them. I'll give each of these a hit so we can see what each model does slightly differently. You can also see at the back there's a nice red ring. As we go through to the next head, there's a bit more of a stronger red ring as this is the HD head. So this is where the most forgiving head comes from. So they've all had more carbon introduced into them to be able to move weight further back away from the face, meaning they're more friendly. HD does stand for high draw, so it does have a little bit of a draw bias by the weight being in the heel slightly. Let's see how much that does have within there. I generally try and play a little bit of a fade, so it'll be interesting to hit that one and see what happens. So I've already hit a few shots with my own driver. I'm going to go away and hit a few of these. I'll film a couple so you can hear the sound of them. Then I'll show you the numbers and I'll give you a bit of honest feedback about what we're seeing with each shot. Okay, so we're here at the first hole at Castle Stuart is where I've chosen to play. So I've gone straight in with the Stealth Plus head. This is what I've been fitted into last year. This is where I'm looking. This is currently at 9 degrees with a very similar shaft to what I currently have in my own driver. Let's give it a hit. Let's see what it sounds like, see what it feels like. Let's see how much of a difference there has been versus the previous product. So let's try and get that little baby fade going. Oh, I don't hear much better than that. Really nice sound to that, really nice crunch off the face. This could be interesting to see the results. So that's me done with the actual hitting part of the Stealth 2 product. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it felt and sounded slightly better than last year's product, which is always a nice advancement to have in any club. But most importantly, let's get straight down to this dispersion, the area of forgiveness, which is the biggest thing which I think has come out from last year, hopefully improving this year. Spoke about it at the start. And I want to bring your attention straight away to this blue ring up here. So this is my dispersion with my own driver currently. So you can see I don't lose too much distance in terms of the depth in between, but I do have a wide dispersion with it, which is something I've seen all year round. The most promising thing I've seen straight away is that those two drivers here, now the Stealth 2 Plus, which is my direct comparison, much tighter dispersion area. I was so much happier hitting that with a off-center hit. It felt the same as what the other one did in terms of I felt the toe, I felt the heel slightly, but actually the result, I wasn't looking 20 yards right, I was only looking 5 yards right this time, which is a huge improvement from where I felt like it was last year. The Stealth 2 being the product that it is, it's fantastic. The standard head, it nails it straight down the middle for me most of the time. I do get some higher backspin, which I'll come on to in a minute. But as a result, again, super forgiving, which is the most important part. And the high draw, I knew wasn't going to suit me because I'm generally a little bit of a fader. I do have the occasional flip of the club face, so I don't want anything with the draw biased. But the interesting part for me was that it wasn't a ridiculous amount of draw. I've seen some other companies where the draw bias is very heavy. This was actually a bit more to do with getting the ball launching into the air and getting a bit more spin, so the forgiveness level was at the maximum it can be, which is really crucial to see. So when we drop down to have a look at the actual numbers, my own driver currently, I managed to find about 1.5 miles ball speed versus the kind of direct replacement, and another 1 mile an hour with this Stealth 2. As I look through the spin numbers, interestingly, now this is something which 2.4 is roughly where I've been aiming for. That's roughly where I want to be. Now, interestingly, I didn't have my fully fitted driver here, so I'll mostly can decrease that. But this spin number being slightly higher has really helped keep this ball on target a little bit more often, and that's a real crucial point for me, is that as these numbers go through, we can see the forgiveness level getting increasingly better, which is what I was talking about earlier with the weight being moved further away from the head. So again, as a plus point going forwards, anybody fitting into the Stealth 2 head and the high draw head, this is going to be fantastic. This is going to be a really good area for a lot of forgiveness, but in keeping that ball speed up, which is the most crucial part. Yes, a little bit more spin has lost me a few yards here and there, but I would take the loss of a few yards by hitting the fairway that more often. So my takeaways from this in total is that the Stealth 2, I think, is a really promising product. I think it sounds great, feels great. The forgiveness level is so much better than last year's, really improved on that front. So all that's left to do is for you to come down, give it a hit, give us your honest feedback. That's all we want. We want some honest feedback. We want to know how it's performing so we can fit it better to each people. Do come down, give us a phone call, give us an email. Hopefully we'll see you around at the club soon. Really hope you enjoyed this. Cheers for now.